Hello, friends, and good to connect with you all once again. So, thank you very much so far for being keeping connected with me through different mediums and sharing your comments, sharing your likes, and of course, we are all growing together because of such kind of interactions. Now, today I have come up with a topic, and this particular subject is requested by a friend, Miss Sangeeta Shah, and she stays in Shanghai. And we had a talk last week, and she asked me that talk something about expectations, whether we should keep expectations from somebody or whether we should not. Interesting subject and very common subject as well. We all are connected with this particular term on a daily basis. It has a different kind of experience with different people, and I did some research and some nice thinking on this subject, and I've come out with some different perspective, something different to share, maybe some different angle I can give to this particular talk. And kindly do listen and watch about this till the end, so that we really understand this word maybe in a better way. So let's begin. So in this talk, we will share few questions which comes in our mind when we talk about any subject. First, why we expect? When do we expect? Now this word, this subject expectations, what it brings on the table on our platter. Now before we begin, let's first of all understand where do we stand? Who are we? That there is a planet Earth where different kind of lives they stay together, including the human lives what we are and different kind of lives. And what our responsibility is, that we all are supposed to coexist in this particular structure, in this particular system, in a very harmonious, peaceful way, so that everybody can coexist together, everybody is comfortable. So this is a particular kind of a system which we all are in. This we have to always keep in mind before we tend to address any kind of human life tendencies. Now when and why we expect? So it is very natural that one person alone in a system, pulling himself or herself out, cannot maintain or balance the system. We have to be dependent on each other. And as we are dependent on each other, there is always a possibility that we enter into an expectation mode from each other. And when this particular two things, when it gets into a nice syncing, then the life becomes easier and comfortable for both of them to move together. So this kind of an expectations by default has come, whether you want it, whether you don't want it. If we define this word, we can put this as a kind of a demand, consciously or unconsciously. It's a desire, it's a wish that we would like a particular person or a situation to behave or act somewhat what we would like it to be. So this is a kind of a thing, that why we expect and when we expect. Now what it brings on our platter. Many a times we have discussed, we have debated, we have argued that because we expect too much, it doesn't turn the way we want. There is certain kind of resentment, some kind of a disappointment, a sad kind of a feeling. So this comes. We are going to address it. That why this particular thing is not giving us a platter which we would like to eat tastefully. And before that, let's talk about something very interesting. People talk about don't expect too much, very easily said. मगर एक बात सोचते हैं, let us think as a normal human being on this planet, we expect the nature, the seasons to also act in a particular way. We want winter to be cold, we want summer to be hot, we want monsoon to have nice rains, we have we expect spring to give us beautiful flowers. So these are the things, this is by default, and expectations has come because it is woven in such a way in our particular I can say cellular system, syncing with the nature, that this kind of an expectations are there. So this always happens. So it is so interesting. Let's talk about family. So when you are born, when you are growing up, there is certain kind of expectations from each other. You expect certain kind of a behavior from your parents and from your siblings, and this also comes naturally. You are not putting in effort to do that, but it is coming very naturally to you. When we talk about say business, when we are in business or when we are in a profession, we expect certain kind of a output with whatever inputs we are giving, whether it is from our vendors, suppliers, whether it is from our customers, whether it is from our peers, our bosses, our colleagues. So this is always there. You can't just say that I don't expect anything from anybody, I am at peace. It would be a beautiful thing if that can happen. But as long as you are connected with this system, you cannot pull yourself away. Whether you like it or you don't like it, whether you want it or you don't want it, you are getting pulled by mutual expectations. So this is, we are talking about family, we are talking about our business times, we are talking about nature. Let's talk about, we go to temple. Most of us, like, we would go with certain kind of a wish, certain kind of a prayer. कुछ ना कुछ अंदर होता है, we would like it to get fulfilled. कुछ तो मांगते हैं always. हम लोग बोलते हैं, we say to the people, we don't ask anything from God, or we don't ask anything when we visit temple for prayers, but certain kind of a wish is there within us which we would like to get fulfilled through such kind of an act, such kind of a practice. This happens, and this naturally happens. When there are two people who step in a new life, they get married, a bride and the groom, there is a mutual expectations to live the life together. If there are no expectations from each other, maybe that kind of a bond, that kind of a syncing, that kind of a chemistry will not happen, because we expect other person to move or to talk or to behave, or at least to match or resonate with what we are thinking, and mutually if we can make it happen, then the chemistry emerges. For example, say we are not well, we are sick, we go to the doctor, and if there is something, a serious kind of a illness, we go for surgeries, we go to hospitals. Now in every aspect of this particular action, what we do, every decision what we take, we have a certain kind of a input what we are giving. We refer 2 or 3 doctors, different opinions, we refer 2 or 3 hospitals, we talk to many people about who is good, who is not. So why this kind of an exercise happens? This happens because we have a certain kind of a input which needs to be done. We have certain kind of a decisions which needs to be taken, and we have certain kind of a expectations from that particular action what we are going to do. We want our family member to get well under some doctor or under some certain kind of a treatment. This comes so naturally in every way. If you just sit and think, then everything you are connected with is, there is certain kind of a mutual longingness of working in a particular way. There is certain kind of expectations which always exist. Now people say do not expect. Yes, I also do endorse the fact that expectations is nothing but a kind of a misery which is going to emerge out of it. Because when we expect, at that time our heart and our mind both are extremely active. And if that particular thing or a person doesn't happen the way we would like, then it's going to hurt us somewhere. It happens, and it always happens. We talk about friends, we talk about family members, relationships, business, association, and anything. This happens in every way. So, what should we do, and how can we make this as a pleasant experience? I have come up with one kind of an approach or a solution, you can say, that okay, if you do need to expect, and let's try one thing, that let's not insist that expectations to be fulfilled. If we at least can detach ourselves from the outcome, then things might get much easier for us to tolerate. If I expect, say, for my spouse to respond to me in a certain kind of a way, and by chance if she is not able to, then if I consciously try and detach myself from her behavior or her response which is not syncing with my demand, if I can consciously become little indifferent towards that particular outcome, I think this would ultimately come to a peace, that some kind of aggravation of emotions will not happen. And at the same time, let me try and give benefit of doubt to the opposite situation and a person, that the response like this has come because of certain kind of a experience that person is passing through. Very, very simple. So if we can see from that perspective, at the same time detach ourselves from the outcome, I think this will tend to become a very, very sweet experience for everybody. And for few people who says, of course there are gurus and there are very learned people who say that just move yourself away from expectations totally, which we as humans know that it is not very easy for us, not possible. This happens for people who have already detached themselves physically and mentally from this particular system. They've moved out of their families, they've moved out of their houses, they've gone into some deep spiritual experiences, they've reached to a particular type of a trance experience. So in that particular state, it is possible for them not to expect anything from anybody or from any situation. It is possible, that might be a conscious practice of years, some different kind of an energy which is channelized in that direction, and which is really not easy. So it is easier said that okay, move yourself away from this kind of particular behavior, but it is not easy. So I would like to end this particular thing with an idea that yes, we as humans, we as a part of the entire ecosystem, we are going to expect, we are going to keep expecting and demanding few of such things which sync with our comfort. But at the same time, if we don't want to have miseries from that particular kind of a situation, let us try and detach ourselves from the outcome and try to see from the opposite perspective. If these two things can be consciously tried, I think this can become a beautiful overall experience for everybody. So with this, I end my today's session, and I would like, and I hope that I have been able to answer that particular question which was raised by my friend. And I still invite you all to give me this kind of different subjects wherein we can discuss and we can talk like that. And as I always say, that together we keep learning and together we keep improving. We'll continue to do it. Thank you, my friends, and have a good day, and Merry Christmas to everybody.